Okay, so I have to tell y'all about the new scam in real estate. What is going on right now? And I don't want you to fall for it, whether you're buying or selling. So I'm here to tell you about the situation, how it's really going to affect you. Whether you're buying or selling, you know now that the National Association of Realtors changed the rules. So they got sued. It was a big deal with the DOJ. And now they've pulled, compensation off the internet where nobody can see it on the internet at all on the MLS, unless it's on like a special private website. The government really made a mess with this, absolute mess. And they've created an environment where there's so much uncertainty and gray area that nobody really knows the rules anymore. It's just like between buyer's agents trying to show properties and sellers trying to sell properties. I know that the buyer's agent agreement was always a thing in other states, but the thing that everybody's missing is now the commission is not known. As I was out listing properties this week, I started talking to a lot of people around town. And the MLS here in Pensacola has already started everything that was supposed to start on August 17th. So we're seeing the first wave of problems. It is a complete mess out there. And in uncertainty and chaos, the scammers and the fraudsters, well, they just show up like cockroaches. And this really made me mad as somebody that tried to do it right and try to be completely transparent with everything I do as a real estate agent. Well, I noticed that there are many agents out there trying to do this. I want y'all to take this seriously. This is a big deal. So imagine a real estate agent comes into your living room or your grandma's living room. We'll call them realtors because this is the National Association of Realtors. I don't like using that term because it's trademarked and we know what's going on with NAR. Okay, the very people they were trying to protect is the first one they sold out in their little deal. Now, let me say this, 5.5%. They tell you, hey, buyers, because they're using the media against you, those news articles that were put out for months about this, that they're saying, hey, I want to sell your house for 5.5%, just like, a normal commission would be. Buyer's agents, they're going to be paid for by the buyer. That's the new way of doing it. And this is not my words, this is their words. I'm trying to educate you on how this would be said. And then they will say, you know what? We got the house under contract. We've gotten it to the finish line. I'll see it closing. And when you see the ALTA, you will see, that's the HUD, the ALTA, the statement of expenses at the very end, you will see commission to the brokerage, the agent's brokerage on the sell side. And then you will see, and this is in most states, you will see buyer's agent commission on the other side. It used to come out of one pool of money that would go straight to the selling broker. It would be dispersed as a cooperative agreement or cooperative payout to the buyer's agent, and you knew where the money was coming from. Title agent could say, hey, okay, $15,000, split 2.5% and 3% or whatnot. Bada bing, bada boom. Simple, easy to be transparent. The DOJ wants buyer and seller decoupled. Now you've got a situation where 8%, 5.5% and 2.5%, 8% is now getting extracted out of the deal, and some people will never catch it. I want you to know that this can happen, and I just want to talk more about this in this video. I really blame the media too for this, because what has happened is they've created this misinformation about commissions with real estate agents. They've always been negotiable. They've always been something that, you can, say I'm willing to do it for this, seller wants it done for that. And there's a little bidding that goes on. Well, once the CNN and all these big news agencies started saying, oh, the 6% commission is gone, you now have to pay for the buyer's agent. Well, it created this gray area for them to come out and say, you know what, I'll sell your house for 5.5% or 6%, and I'll be there to represent you through the whole deal and get your property sold. But there's supposed to be an air of clear transparency to say what I'm going to do for that commission that you pay me. Because normally the 6% would be split 3 and 3, or 5%, 2.5 and 2.5. That other 2.5 going to the buyer's agent, right? So seller's agent, 2.5%, buyer's agent, 2.5%. Well, now that it's pulled off the MLS, nobody's able to really track all this stuff. There's not another agent on the other side calling out the other agent saying, hey, you just charged them 6% and my buyer just paid me. You just did something very unethical. And to add on top of this, I was thinking as I was editing this, the listing agreement isn't posted anywhere here where I'm at. It's not listed on the MLS. It can't be now because it talks about commission. So nobody truly knows what the listing agent is charging their client besides the listing agent and their brokerage? You know, like I would think you would hang it on the MLS. So once I get my buyer's agent agreement done, I know what they are charging. I know what I'm charging, you know, have a little cooperation, right? Well, no, it's completely hidden now. We don't see the listing agreement. We don't see the commission. We have to call the agent and hopefully they tell you the truth, then send over a seller's, you know, cooperative commission agreement, and then hopefully we get paid. Like, the idea of transparency here is just completely messed up. Why isn't the listing agreement shown to people? You know, like, why is there all this question of what the seller's agent is charging? I mean, it was wild, you know, a little while back, like, I did a deal. It was 2% on my side. I was like, whatever. And then I looked and saw what the listing agent had charged, and she got 4%, I got 2%. And I was like, well, nobody even knew that prior to. Why is only the buyer's agent commission listed? Why isn't the seller's agent commission listed too? Then everybody would know. All this was just like, it's been very mismanaged. And I see these things just slipping through the cracks unless the title companies call them out. So you'll just see on the Alta, hey, commission paid to the seller's agent on one side, and then you'll just see where the buyer, you know, debited it out on the other side, and nobody's the wiser. Because I know for me, you know, when I saw it on the commission on the MLS, I'm like, okay, 2.5, they're probably getting this amount on that side. It's all coming from one pool of money, and therefore I know what the other agent charged. Okay, dress right dress, we look good. But the DOJ and all their glory have decided to try to decouple buyer's agents and seller's agents. One pool of money on one side, one pool of money on the other. Theoretically, they think that'll work. Well, it sounds like none of them have actually been in a real estate deal. And they don't know how some of these swashbuckling, you know, used car salesmen as real estate agents, not saying anything about it, used car salesmen, but the sleazy agents out there doing some stuff and playing in the gray area. And for the next year or two, there's going to be this wild gray area in real estate. And we're going to be like, still trying to figure out the rules. I mean, if you ask the people at the MLS right now what the actual rules are, they could not tell you. And if you really pinned them down on it, they would cave and they would just say, call a lawyer, right? But these are the people that are supposed to be giving out the fines. See, the DOJ just wants buyers to be responsible for their buyer's agent. Well, they tried to create a situation where there was no steering. They don't want agents to not show properties that aren't offering as much commission. And they thought that they would just, you know, do this and we'd be all happy merry. Well, here's what's actually happening. Buyer wants to see a property and they're like, you know what? I don't want to see that property because they're not offering commission. And so the commission steering just happened just in reverse. The buyer now doesn't want to pay for the buyer's agent. They're going to go show properties that are offering commission. And this is what I've been saying for a while, that trying to shortchange somebody that's trying to bring you money is not the best way of doing it. We had a very good system for a long time, 100 years or so, and the way it worked fine. And now nobody knows how the system works, and it's created a lot of problems. And since we started a month early here, that we're seeing all the kinks in the armor straight up. See, the entire reason why the DOJ wanted to do this was to safeguard the consumer, to make sure the consumer was protected. And they tried to make it clear and transparent, because right now, before you even look at a house, a buyer's agent has to have a buyer's agreement signed. Well, it's forcing people to jump into an agreement with somebody that they don't even know, and then trying to figure out if they even want to work with this person. Check this out right here. I'm on a Navy Point right here on the bayou. That's Naval Air Station Pensacola, where the Blue Angels fly off, and they come. You've seen them in a lot of my videos. Really cool thing to check out. But since the buyer's agent agreement gets signed, then the seller's agent, then the buyer's agent has to call the seller's agent to find out if there is a commission. And if there is a commission, then before, you know, all the paperwork gets done, they've got to get a seller's broker to broker piece of paper signed saying what they're willing to offer the commission for. So when you put all the contract together, you know everything's on the up and up. Because for many years, you would see agents trying to change at the last minute the commission on the MLS, but it'll show you the history of the MLS and you know they changed the commission. Agents used to get caught doing that all the time. It's very, very rough industry to be in, very cutthroat. But the good ones are good for a reason, and the bad ones, well, we all figure them out pretty quick. See, the market has been cooling for a minute, and I've talked about this in many of my videos. Like, it is actually getting really cool out there. And this just threw another thing on top of it. Now agents don't know how to get paid. The ones that don't do it every day, they're out there still trying to kind of figure it all out. And some of them don't even know the rules changed, and that's kind of wild. But us that do lots of transactions and big deals, we knew. But these agents, when they go to show a house, do not know really that they need a buyer's agent agreement, and they're trying to explain it to their clients, and the clients probably don't really know them that well, and they don't want to sign it. So therefore, some of the houses just aren't getting shown now as of like 2 days ago, Wednesday. And it's like cold. It's grown really cold. Really, uncertainty has done this. There's some dolphins right out there. They just went under. Let's see if they'll come back. Oh, there they are. If you watched my last video where I talked about the 5% rent cap per year that the Biden administration is trying to implement, this is just another icing on the cake to try to upside down the real estate market. Commercial, that industry is ready to just implode. Now you can't up there. As soon as they sign the 5% rent cap into effect, like you can't up the rent hardly at all to cover any of your rising expenses, maintenance, insurance, legal. Like, it's just like it's made it a scenario where you can't win. The book value is going to go through the floor, because when all these properties have to be refinanced, $1.2 trillion worth of properties, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have to figure it out, or the Congress is just going to have to say, hey, we're not going to sign that. We're not going to do that. And hey, Mr. President, that's dumb. I'll tell you, this is going to kill 50% of the real estate agents out there. The ones that do it just part-time on the side, they're not going to be profitable anymore. And it's just created like the learning curve that's exponential to just try to do a handful of transactions. The last 2 weeks I've spent in a classroom trying to figure out these rules. And the more I realized, as I was sitting there, that the people telling me the rules don't know the rules. They're just reading something that they were told. And the attorneys involved, some of these title companies, they don't know either. And they're just all giving us like, we'll just figure it out. For the real estate agents out there, you're gonna have to really figure out your value proposition. For somebody to sign on the dotted line in your office that they want you to represent them, that's a really big deal. And you're gonna have to prove your worth. You're gonna have your resume, how many you sold. It's this, I've sold one house in 5 year thing. It's gonna be gone. You're gonna have to really prove it for these buyers to want to pay you. But for the wealthy out there, they're going to know the worth. They're going to be able to look you up and know how many deals you've done. If you've done any $1 million+ deals, or whatever your stats are, you're going to have to know these stats, and you're going to have to show your value. But comment down below what you think about this. Do you think that you would be able to tell right off the top that this agent is charging you 5.5% to list a house, and then the buyer's agent is being paid for by the other side, and you just got hit for a scope of 8% off your property, right? Because that buyer's agent's going to want to squeeze you to get his worth out of it, to try to save the buyer as much money as possible. And so that median, that skim, is going to have to come from somewhere. It's nuts to think that people fall for this, but they will. Let me tell you. Some of these guys will go into your grandma's living room and get them to sign this, and nobody will be the wiser because nobody's looking out for them. The very first person that's supposed to be looking out for them is the one that's actually taking it from them. So I just wanted to bring this to you, that if you are going to sign a listing agreement, make sure it is specified what is that commission is going to be for. Like in Florida, it shows 5.5% or 6%. Let's just go with 6 for easy math. 6%, 3% is going to go to the buy side. And then this is how they're going to pay for their pictures, their marketing, time on the road, and what their value is. And the price point, etc., everything in the house. Here in Florida, it's very specific. Some states are not. And I think that's what's going to have to be looked at also. So know exactly what you're signing. Get the agent to express it, to walk you through it. Don't let them just round the curve on you, and make sure there's complete transparency. just be very cognitive of how these deals work. Make sure you research your real estate agent. Make sure you research everybody in the deal, the entire network that's being used. Do your best. Find a good real estate agent and make sure they take care of you. I'd be happy to do that for you because I'm honest to a T. And for many of the real estate agents that need the money, like right now, where so many agents are going bust, they will do some sleazy stuff, and I hate to say that they will, but they will. And you want an agent that doesn't need the paycheck, that is doing this because they want to do it. And then you want to also compensate them well because they are spending time away from their family. Their education and experience, like for me, I've done a lot of deals. I've crawled underneath a lot of houses. You've seen them here on this channel. I've documented them throughout my social media, everywhere that you know exactly what I've done. When you go to hire a real estate agent, have them walk you through those exact resume criterias. So don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below, because I do a lot of this type of video. I enjoy trying to educate everybody out there about deals, how to make money, how to do real estate, how to be a real estate agent. And if you're looking to buy or sell real estate on the Gulf Coast, my email is down below and I'd be happy to help you find something. If I can't, I will find somebody that can. I'll see you guys later.